Good morning, everybody. I'm kind of glitchy. Seems like I'm in the Matrix. I just got back from my walk. Health log, um, 1.5 miles. I just got back, so I haven't done the apple cider vinegar drink yet. I'm on day 20, which means I am two-thirds of the way through this 30-day challenge. And I mentioned in an earlier vlog that I think I'm going to stop calling it the 30-day challenge only because I want this to continue. I'm at the point now where I really like going for my walks and my jogs and getting that exercise. It's so funny because I was kind of jogging through the park, and Saturdays, I call them the 9 o'clock club, even though it's almost 10. I call them the 9 o'clock club because it's the same people. And on Saturdays in particular, especially in the winter months, we've got the snowbirds. So we had a whole bunch of people who were playing bocce. New Yorkers, you can tell. um, so today, the thought that was kind of going through my head was the boogeyman in your head does not like the light. And I think there are a lot of times when we have a boogeyman in our head, we say that we can't, we have these fears. There are so many things that are kind of going in our head to keep us down, to hold us back. And when we face those fears or we face those nasty things that are in our lives, and we look at it in a positive light, then the boogeyman is destroyed. And I think that kind of popped into my head because yesterday I had a really good geek speak with Cody Renee Cameron and Serena Mafucci. And they are a couple of the stars that are in that movie Girl Lost, A Hollywood Story, which talks about sex trafficking. It talks about sexual abuse, and you clearly see in the movie the type of manipulation that goes on and things. And in the one character portrayed by Moxie Owens, um, you clearly see that boogeyman in her head, like she's not worthy to fight for herself. She's not worthy because she projects, I think, her worth based on how people treat her. And I think that is one of the biggest battles that every one of us face at some point in time, where we say, I'm not good enough, um, and I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of love. I'm not worthy of getting that job. I'm not worthy, period. And so when we actually turn that around, shed the light on the boogeyman and say, you know what, screw you. I am worthy, which is really, really hard for some people. I mean, it was a battle for me for the longest time, especially, kind of like a point in time was when I was going through my divorce. It was in my head. Why did he choose somebody else? Why wasn't I good enough? Why didn't I do this or why didn't I do that? I'm like, wait a minute. It goes to that whole thing with like a horse. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Um, I can only do what I can do. I have a certain amount of capacity, and I try to do what's right. But when I put other people first all the time, it takes away from me. And I think a lot of people have that misconception that when you turn it around and you have self care, that you are being selfish. And that is not the case. When you go onto an airline, they say, in case of an emergency, put your oxygen mask on first, especially if you're traveling with children, because if you're incapacitated, you can't help them. Of course, our instinct is to help others, but we have to help ourselves first. And so by shedding a light on the boogeyman that's in your head, I don't care how minute it feels or how stupid you might think it is, the more you talk about those things, um, and do it loudly, do it proudly, you're going to find your haters. You know what you do with them? You mute them, you get rid of them, especially on social media. You don't need that crap. From that, from sharing your stories, from sharing the boogeyman that's in your head, you are going to find the people who will support you, and those are the people you want to keep close. All right. It's fine to grow your social media and stuff like that, but you don't need the haters in your life. You don't need those people feeding the boogeyman in your head. So share your stories. Uh, it does put you in a vulnerable place. And a lot of people who feel down and out, whether it's depression, whether it's abuse, whether it's not knowing which way to go, just maybe you feel like you're drowning, reach out because somebody will be there. It might not be somebody you expect, but it could be something as simple as, hey, how are you doing? Just a simple check in. Um, those things make a difference. So that was my topic of the day. I really try to keep these vlogs short because I've got some uh, I've kind of got a busy day. It starts off at 11 with Rob Anderson and I. We are going to be launching with Pops Van Zandt CromCon 9, and we're going to be talking about pitches. And then later on this afternoon, I have to confirm with him, but I should be sitting with Sean DN. You might know him as 8-Bit Shinobi, and he does cocktails, and he does a podcast, and he does he's kind of fun if you're into gaming and stuff. So, and I have to confirm with a couple of other guests. So I just feel like I'm chasing my own tail, but there's a lot of stuff to do. I've also got a deadline to upload my manuscript to Amazon by the 11th. And I'm like, holy crap, that deadline's coming really fast. Like, how is this the first week of December? So that is going to be up, as well as trying to get the Kickstarter launched. So lots of stuff going on. The boogeyman in my head is saying there isn't enough time. There is enough time. There is enough time if I focus. But anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that I think about you when I try and do these things. I think it's important that when we share our messages, we help others, even though we might not know it. So Sera, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Let me just pop some messages up here for you guys. Got to face those fears instead of letting them rule you. Good for you. Karl Witsman, thank you. Good morning for tuning in. Russell Allen. Sera, great messaging being sent out. Thank you. I wish that you guys who are tuning in live would maybe join me one of these mornings. I never really know when I'm going to pop on here. It's when I wake up, I go for my walk, I do the podcast. Sometimes I shower beforehand. Sometimes I don't, like today. So Russell Allen, I try to be transparent and talk about my struggles over the past year. Luckily, there has only been a few haters. It helps to talk about the problems and surrounding yourself with people who support you. That is absolutely true. And again, when you talk about it, if there are people out there who are bringing you down, who are discounting what you're going through, get rid of them. Mute. You don't have to unfriend them. Okay. I've got people that I put on mute because I don't want to hear it, but I still love them. They're in my life one way or another. So put them on mute. And, if they're not willing to talk to you later or have a face-to-face and acknowledge what you're going through, you don't need them. Thom Foster, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. He says, I have difficulty muting and excluding anyone, even on social media, because I do not want to see other views, even vitriolic ones, so I can try to understand others. Not that I believe one has to suffer for their art, but other views do make me consider protagonist and antagonist's views. That's true. I believe that's very true when it comes to the creative process. You want to hear the criticisms as long as it's moving you forward, and that's the key. If it's not moving you forward, it's not doing you any good. It's just going to be that anchor around your ankles, and it's going to drag you down. So I agree with that. I have a lot of people whose views that I don't agree with, but I like hearing the other side because I'm a stubborn person, and I will think I'm right until I'm proven wrong. Maybe that comes with age. I don't know, but at the same time, if their feedback isn't pushing you forward or uplifting you in some way or making you see that there is another point of view and it could be better, when you reach that fork in the road, that then you make that choice. So I agree with that to a certain point, only if it's moving you forward. Heidi Heiss, good morning. Um, you can do it. Yes, the boogeyman lies. He does. Don't listen to the boogeyman. And the boogeyman does not like light. So the more you talk about the boogeyman that's in your head, the less power it has. Russell Allen, it's all about casting inspiration and showing people you can do greatness in the darkest of times. And that's true. Russell Allen, you are going through so much yourself, and you are an inspiration to a lot of people who are out there who are going through the creative process, who are making your way despite all of the challenges that you face. And Karl Witsman, there's a difference between having another viewpoint and those who are hateful. Exactly. Heidi says, Morgan Freeman said it best: do not accept criticism from someone you wouldn't go to for advice. That's true. My thing is, I do not ever want to be the smartest person in the room. Um, I don't. I'm always on a learning curve. I always try to stay humble. And in on the flip side of that, when I feel like things are going bad for me, um, I always consider that there are others who have it a lot worse. So I try to count my blessings all the time. Karl Witsman is saying, Sweetie, your camera was acting up when you first started. It cleared up, though. Watch the first part later. Yeah, I know. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if it's a Logitech thing or if it's a StreamYard thing, but it was kind of cool with the Matrix and all kind of glitchy and stuff. And Karl Witsman says, that's a way to be helpful and not hateful. So anyway, thank you guys for chiming in, but it pushed me past the 10-minute mark. Why? But I appreciate you guys. I really do. Thank you for tuning in. Again, CromCon 9, if you love comic books, if you're interested in the process, make sure that you tune in. Rob Anderson and I kind of launch it with Pops Van Zandt over at Comics Related Madness at 11 o'clock. So I've got a little bit of time to get cleaned up a bit. I don't know, I woke up with a little bit of a migraine, so I popped some pills really quickly and got rid of it, and then I ran it out. So I appreciate you guys. I think tomorrow we have Sunday Comics Brunch if you want to tune in. And we've got some open chairs. So we talk about the news and some of the issues that are happening in comics and our world. Anyway, I hope you guys tune in. And again, to what I was speaking to earlier with that movie, it's Girl Lost, a Hollywood story. It is by Robin, what's her last name? Robin Bain. It's on Amazon Prime. So if you have an Amazon subscription, make sure that you tune in and watch it. Leave a review. It helps. They're independent creators, filmmakers, and actors. So give them love too. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I will catch you on the flip side later.